show is by joining us and hitting that subscribe button on our channel, hitting the thumbs up or down, as well as the super chat is open. That really helps us out. You can also do a little shopping at facebook.com/the SOR Vault. Pick yourself up some t-shirts, some nice swag. We have it all right here on our website. Our new website is coming around soon. Mental Pancakes, gorgeous Jen A, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Susan, how are you? Michael Leger, the Michael Leger is here, everyone. Steve Stockton, and the Ronald Fenton. Howard, nice to have you back. We are 10 seconds away. Lorien Fenton is our guest. We're going to rock this thing pretty good. Lorien is always filled with energy, and we love her around here. Here we go. I lied. 20 seconds. I hate that. I was all ready. I was pumped up. I was ready. I was pumped. And
I was too. I even muted for you.
Oh, well. Well, let's see. Hey, Ross Smith, how are you? Now we're going to do it all again. We are 10 seconds away from launching. Lorien is filled with energy, and it's going to be amazing. Sinister, thank you so much for that awesome super chat. We really do appreciate the love. Here we go. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. If you want to check out our archives, we have them free for you. YouTube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Lorien Fenton has been involved in the San Francisco Bay Area UFO community since 2009. She got involved after a mysterious form of pneumonia during the H1N1 scare in that year. It was a near-death experience which propelled her into doing work in a community that she loves and very passionate about. In 2012, Lorien founded the nonprofit Conscious Community Events. She is a conference promoter, just finishing up this past weekend with UFOCon 2021 that was done virtually this year. We'll talk to her about that. She is also a member of MUFON and a radio talk show host on Revolution Radio. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. My best friend, Lorien Fenton. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Can you hear me all right?
You sound lovely.
Good. I've got a new headset. I'm so excited.
I saw it. On your virtual conference.
Well, no, this one's actually different than that one. So this is, I went on a headset splurge. I decided to try a gaming headset, a wireless headset. I just went nuts one day and bought like 4 different headsets. So I'm on the wireless right now, and I guess it's working okay. So well, I'm happy.
We're going to run with it. It. Lorien, I want to ask you, you have one of the largest UFO conferences in North America. And I think you do an incredible job. You bring in incredible people. You're not afraid to take chances on people who may not be very well known in the UFO community, such as myself. And I really do appreciate the way you try to bring new people in all the time. How different was it for you this year to run UFOCon 2021 on a virtual scale rather than live?
Well, all I can say to that is next time it happens, I'm not going to be the host of it and run it and produce it and do everything by myself. That's all I got to say. It was fabulous, though. I mean, I I learned more because I was stuck in front of the camera with the speaker the whole time they were speaking, and I actually was floored by their presentations. And now I understand. See, in the one where you guys all show up and you go on the stage and I'm sitting out in the lobby, I've never heard a single speaker of mine for 10 years, because I've been sitting in a different area of the conference, and I have all my tech guys running the show, like Robert Perala and you now as my MCs, and you guys get up there, you make them get on stage, and Dennis Whipple, my AV guy, says, okay, it's showtime, and then the cameras roll and the event happens, right? And I'm nowhere near it. So this time I was sitting there, and I had to hear every last speaker and every word they said, and I was sitting there going, oh my God, this is amazing information. If it wasn't my own conference, I'd pat myself on the back, because this is amazing information. And let me tell you, folks, what was cool about it was I decided, since this year we were going virtual, I could have anybody from anywhere. So I got Yossi Ronin from Israel. He was fantastic. And we had a guy from the UK, Phil Kinsella, but he had a severe emergency with his family, couldn't make it. So I had to speak, which is not par for the course, but I did it. And I had to listen to everybody else's stories, and oh my God, they blew me away. Now, I knew about all these people. I would never put them on my net, during my conference, but I really didn't know them as well as I thought I did, because the stories that were coming out of them absolutely blew my mind. And here's the key part to all of this. I told everyone, prepare a PowerPoint presentation, and I don't want you to do it like a regular business PowerPoint. What I want you to do is sit down and go through your life history of when the first time you saw an alien or a UFO or anything like that, and I want you to start telling your story going forward from there till now, and put it all in a PowerPoint presentation and try to fit it in 75 minutes. And they did it, and they did an amazing job, because I've interviewed most of these people on my radio shows, and they would tell me this, that, and the other thing, but I had no idea that it was this involved, because I never really asked. So this time they did. They put together amazing PowerPoints. I mean, my God, you guys, you wouldn't believe the stories. I mean, and what was fascinating for me and Dave, I don't know if you saw this thread happening with all of them. Oh, that beard. What were we going to do with that beard?
I don't know. We can trim the beard.
Anyhow, the most fascinating thread that was developing during the whole event was the fact that shadow people, MyLabs, ghosts, UFOs, and aliens were all merging together in everybody's story. I was like, really? This guy's got shadow people too, and this guy's got shadow people, and this guy's got. It was, I was literally blown away. I had no idea. Out of 14 speakers, 10 of them had shadow people involved in their story. It was crazy, and bringing that thread together was really interesting, and also the fact that many of them, invited in this kind of contact, and were happy with it. And then the ones that don't want it have figured out ways to help them repel this kind of contact. And that was fascinating to hear their different, modalities of getting rid of the grays or the pinks or the whites or, whatever was there bothering them. And I just found it fascinating that people would come up with all these crazy ideas. And my favorite speech, I got to say, my favorite speech as far as being an old hippie, Dave, I was listening to Paul Hynek on Friday night talk about doing DMT to meet the machine elves, which he thinks are aliens. Oh. So that was a blast. That was really fun.
Paul Hynek, I have to get him back on the show. But Paul Hynek is one of the funniest men in ufology. He really is. And for people who don't know, he's a very successful businessman worth I don't even know how much money, but he's also the son of J. Allen Hynek. That's how he comes to UFO fame. And it's only been recently that he's actually stepped out into the public to kind of embrace that role.
And, he's not a contactee, and he'll be the first to admit it. He was probably my only guest that isn't, but he says, Lorien, I'm trying to be a contactee. He goes, I'm doing DMT for the team.
Right?
I was cracking up. I said, so this is your pitch to me to be in my conference, right? That you're doing DMT for the team? He goes, yeah, that's my pitch. I said, okay, anybody who can say that to me, you're in,
Oh, for sure.
It was truly funny.
For sure. No, I absolutely love him, and we got to get him back on the show. That is one of the names I actually wrote down and that I want to get him back. But, I want to ask you, with the conference circuit and still not knowing when this COVID stuff is going to end, and I'm not getting into a whole COVID conversation with you, but, did you miss having people around? Did you miss the atmosphere?
Well, I got to tell you guys a little secret. Friday night when I was setting up, I got really depressed and I almost started crying. And my roommate, who was there helping me set the banners up and all the things behind me, he said, why are you upset? He goes, it's going to be great. I said, because I don't like this. I can't hug my friends. And that's what I really miss is the camaraderie, the hugging you guys. I mean, we all give each other a bad time and we all act like we all hate each other half the time. And we're always razzing each other at these events and, and just giving each other what I call friendly hell. And, but I miss that. I miss being able to yell at Robert during a big, problem during the conference. And I think Robert missed it too. We were talking about it after the conference yesterday. And he goes, I miss being in person. I said, why? Because you miss me screaming at you? He goes, yeah, that's half of it.
People need to know that there are times when you're at a Lorien Fenton conference, when you see Lorien, you just have to immediately do an about face and walk the other way because
it's not your fault, you guys. It's just that some people, they do weird things at conferences. I mean, it's like I'll be sitting there and the next thing I know, someone runs up to me and they say, did you know the guy on stage right now is saying we have to kill all people that are hybrids? And I'm like, what? That was the year Samantha was there. Do you remember hearing about all that?
No. Fill me in.
Oh, my God. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. This guy, he got up on stage. He's the guy that actually funded the whole event for me. And I said, it was a loan. He gave me a personal loan to put on this event. I can't tell you guys how much it was. And he said to me, Lorien, I met him at International UFO Congress years ago, and I thought he was a pretty normal dude, okay? Pretty normal alien abductee, right? And it turns out he had a bunch of money, and we've been friends for a long time, and he got a big settlement. And he said, Lorien, I want to fund your conference this year. I said, that would be great. I said, I don't want to take your money. I will take a loan. He goes, I'd be happy to give you a loan. What do you need? I said, I need this much. He goes, great. He goes, my only stipulation is this, that you let me speak at your conference. And I thought about it, and I thought about it. My gut just kept saying, this might not be a good idea, I don't know. So sure enough, I let him speak. People were running out of the room screaming, going, oh my God, he wants to kill all of us hybrids. And Samantha, during a panel, was in tears and she ran out of the room because he said they all have to die. And oh my God, it was so insane. I can't begin to tell you. And Robert Perala came up to me later and he said, you're the only person I know that would have allowed that to happen on stage. But he said to me, and he whispers in my ear and he goes, but it was the best entertainment in years of UFO Con. It was so wild, and people were running and screaming and it was nuts. I caught it all on camera too. So.
Oh, you're lucky I wasn't. You were lucky I wasn't there because anybody who makes Samantha cry, I'm gonna.
Oh, it was crazy, yeah. Dave. It was crazy, and Robert just was laughing. He's like, "I can't believe you pulled this off." And we had the crazy man trying to kill the people that think they're hybrids, and he goes, "I can't believe it." So, you guys, things happen, and I'm just sitting there. I'm flabbergasted most of the time, but I'm trying to save everybody's sanity, and I'm usually at butt heads with the hotel staff. They're always the problem. No matter where I go, which hotel it is, they all, you're paying them thousands and thousands of dollars to do things, and they never do it. It's in the contract, and they show you the pretty pictures of the dinner and the whole bit, and then I get there and it's limp noodles and mac and cheese, right?
And don't forget dirty plates.
And dirty plates and garbage and air conditioners, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Anyhow, so
I don't think I ever told you this. In 2020, when we were in San Francisco and we had the VIP dinner, I'm like in line and I'm looking at the plates and I'm like, this plate is dirty, this plate is dirty, this plate is dirty, this plate is dirty. That one's dirty. And the entire plate stack was dirty. And so I forget who was with me. There was a couple of people with me. And I'm like, guys, like, what do we do here? Like, let's get some hotel staff here. And somebody says, well, we got to talk to Lorien about this. This is, Lorien is the one who can deal with the hotel. I'm like, no. She's sick and she's not feeling well and she is going to come unglued.
And I did. I became unglued, man. Oh man. That was wild.
It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. But
and then don't forget, we always have the battle of the speakers. There's always one speaker who hates another speaker, and they'll get on stage and they'll take him out on stage, and then the speaker will get up on stage the next day and take out that person, and then by Saturday or Sunday night, they're literally fighting in the aisles.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. You know
it's
what?
Like WWF.
I never knew that actually happened at conferences until I saw it in Toronto, where Kevin Estrella went and interrupted Paul Hellier's conference, and then and started going all political on him, and then last year at yours, where Carrie Cassidy, Nut Bar Carrie Cassidy, went and started going after Paul Hynek about cover-ups and everything.
Oh, well, yeah, then, and sadly, there was Chris Bledsoe involved in that whole mess, too. So it was a three-ring circus by the time I interceded. And you know what was funny about that? All three of them came up to me during the dinner, and they both, all of them sat next to me and told me their whole side of it, right? Like, I'm mother, and they're all confessing why the other brothers and sisters are beating up on them and what's going on. And they each blamed each other, and it was pretty damn funny. And I just sat there and I went, and I just nodded my head. And I thought later, I'm not going to do anything about this, because by the three of them playing the game, they've all exposed themselves to everybody in the room, and there's nothing I can do about it, and whatever they have between them, they'll work it out. Well, just like good little kids.
Well, you know what? It's the life of a conference. Life of a conference. We got 6 minutes here before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Okay. Lorien Fenton is our guest tonight. I want to shift topics tonight because one of the topics, you and I usually go into like this National Enquirer UFO gossip session when you're on, but I actually want to concentrate on a topic with you tonight that is personal to you, it's personal to me, and many others out there regarding experiencers. And, I had the opportunity to interview Luis Elizondo a couple of weeks ago. And if you haven't heard that show, you can check out our archives on YouTube or one of the downloadable podcast areas. And here's the thing. This is one thing I'm learning. People like Lou really believe that the experiencers need a louder voice in the community. They need to be able to have their opinions heard. Now, not everybody, and I'm not trying to hijack this, but the people who are truly experienced, not the ones who, say, saw one set of lights back in 1979, that doesn't matter. We're talking real experiencers here. When it comes to experiencers, Lorien, I want to ask you, because you really focus on this with your conferences, how important is it for us to get these messages out, even though there is usually no raw data, there is no proof, there is no hardcore evidence, it's just a story?
it is probably the most important thing in ufology. Many years ago, when I started doing the conferences, I had a choice, and I was kind of banned from the regular conferences. Like, I love him dearly, but Alejandro Rojas was putting on International UFO Congress with John. I can't remember John's last name right now. And then recently, his wife took over International UFO Congress, and he helps her produce it. And I will never be a speaker there. I will never have any of the people that speak for me will ever be able to speak for him. And the reason why is because they focus on what they consider the science aspect of ufology. In other words, the women who have written the book, the UFOs over the Hudson Valley and the UFOs over Montana, or Cheryl Costa, who won the International Researcher of the Year Award several years ago at International UFO Congress about all of her data going into the ufology arena. And I get that, and I totally respect them for staying on point and using that as their focal point, as their mission statement for their conference. Having said that, I feel it's super important right now, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit. The reason I think it's super important right now is because my angels told me it was. Back about 8 years ago, they said to me in one of our funny little download sessions, where I ignore them and tell them to leave me alone, as usual, because I'm not keen to being woken up out of a dead sleep to get a vision. I'm not one of those people. I like my sleep. So they're always harassing me when I'm starting to wake up, and I just basically told them, no way, I'm not doing it. But they did tell me, they said there's enough people out there right now, and these aren't the words they use, folks. This is the impression they gave me, because they don't talk in words most of the time. They talk in visuals, and they talk in feelings and emotion, and it's weird. They put a whole concept into your head in one fell swoop. It's like I woke up and they're telling me in this one fell swoop fashion, you need to be having experiencers talk on your radio shows. You need to have experiencers in your conference. You need to focus in on them. They are the key to the answer to what ufology is seeking. That's what they told me, and they didn't do it like that in words. They did it with this big impression of this is what I got to do. So I did. I started in, I had been doing, half experiencers, half people of science or people of experiences that are based in, more of the scientific aspect of how they were researched for many years. And, so then that was 2012, 13, and 14. I had done that. By 15, I was focusing in on experiencers. And I did my first event up in Sacramento for UFO Con that year, and it was called the Experiencer Event, and I recreated it this year as well. And what we did that first year is we had people only on the stage that were talking about their experiences, all the way from angels to demons, reptilians to grays. We had everybody got up on the stage and told a different story about the aspect of their contact. And it was, some of them were terrifying, some of them were loving. We had one woman, she's amazing. She lives in LA. She's Japanese. She plays the violin because her angels have saved her life so many times, or aliens actually, have saved her life so many times. They've given her this amazing musical talent. And she was playing her music, telling her story about the contact she had from these angelic beings on all the several times she died. So that was really cool. And then we had a guy telling us all about the reptilians that have invaded his life, given him cancer, almost killed him, and how he came out of that whole scenario. And then it went on and on. I mean, it was really remarkable. Everybody that left that conference, and that was the first conference I ever put on, Dave, where people were crying. And they came up to me afterwards and said, oh, my God, I can't believe they told the truth like that. It was amazing.
Lorien,
so I knew.
Yeah, we only got about
ahead.
30 seconds, so finish.
Well, yeah. And when we get back, I'll tell you a little bit more about how we did it for this year's UFO Con. But that is the key, you guys. The key is tell your truth and let everybody know about it.
Lorien Fenton is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. She can be heard on Revolution Radio. And, of course, you can always check out her conferences. This year's UFO Con 2021, if you missed it live, you can, in a couple of weeks, get the video versions of everything. And we're going to be talking ET experiencers. What do they go through? What are they about? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it angelic? Is it demonic? There's a lot of ways we are going to go tonight with Lorien, who's one of the top when it comes to breaking down ET contact on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned. All right, my friend, we're clear for 5 minutes.
5 minutes? That's a long break.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
Cool. I like 5-minute breaks. Maybe I can get some pizza delivered to my desk here. Hold on, I'm going to scream for pizza.
You do that. I'll turn you down. Did you get your pizza?
Yeah, I'm getting it. The roommate, I heard him up banging around in the kitchen, so I just yelled, "Bring pizza."
Nice. Nice.
Well, that's good. Did I ever tell you about my roommate?
No.
He's my ex.
Really?
Yeah, I let him back into my life.
Oh, man. That's where all the drama starts, right there.
Yeah. But it's okay. We're good friends. And he has his own room. I got my own room. We're all good. He tries to take care of me, but he's got pretty bad physical problems. So I didn't want to see him living under a bridge anywhere. So.
Well, I mean, he's bringing you pizza.
He's bringing me pizza and coffee. Can't argue with that.
Oh, man.
What is going on with my websites? This is so bizarre. I've been getting hacked a lot lately. How about you?
No, I've been good. Thanks for just bringing that hacker death on me now. Appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. It's just that, WordFence is really, really good. I pay for the high-end version of it, and I've got it on 250 of my websites because I have 100 that are other clients and stuff. And I'm always noticing that, gosh, my server seems to be loved by people.
I know.
Don't know what we're going to do about that.
Is that a microwave? Is that a microwave I hear? Is he heating up that pizza too?
Yeah. Now, are you hearing that?
I did hear that.
Oh, shoot. That's 40 feet away. How in the hell
that's
did
nice.
you hear that?
That's nice. Sometimes sometimes I can hear.
Oh, no, that's scary because that means that this microphone is not what I thought it was. I thought it was just a, 3-foot radius microphone.
Mm-hmm. All right. We got to know an important question here.
Okay.
All right. What's Lorien Fenton's thoughts of eating breakfast for dinner?
Love it. Love it. I would be at IHOP every day eating my waffles and pancakes and eggs and bacon if I could.
Lorien.
Oh, but Dave, you were with us.
No, because the first time I was down there, my knees are killing me tonight, by the way. The first time I was down there, my exit flight was at like 5 a.m, so I couldn't go. And the second time I was down there, I went home Sunday in the afternoon after I spoke.
That's right, because you had to get back for your show.
Yes. Thank you, Major Lee, for the wonderful super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. Hello, gorgeous Cherie Ariano and her handsome husband. God, he's handsome. He really is. Let's see, who else? Oob to Joe's Maine. You've got aliens. Big Fat Creep. Good to see you. Awesome Annie. Thanks for coming on in. Yeah, everybody's kind of supporting you eating breakfast for dinner. Not me, man. Not me. Can't do it, Lorien. There's certain things I can't do in this life, and supporting people who eat breakfast foods for dinner. They're titled breakfast foods for a reason.
Oh, come on. Come on.
No, because if they were dinner foods, they would be dinner foods. Just saying.
Well, I'm going to be the satanic breakfast lady from now on, I guess.
Apparently so. Apparently so.
But you know what? Most people in the UFO community love their breakfast for dinner because so many of us during the conferences go out to IHOP at night.
I know. But, excuse me. We've got about 35 seconds.
We do have a few people that order hamburgers when they're there for dinner, though.
I would order a hamburger. I would. I'm not going to lie. I would totally order a hamburger.
So you diss the pancakes and bacon and sausage, huh?
Well, bacon's universal. I could do bacon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We got about 10 seconds. Thank you, Sinister and Lee, for the super chats. Thank you to everyone who's giving us a thumbs up. And here we go. 5 seconds. Second half hour is underway on Spaced Out Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with Lorien Fenton talking all things extraterrestrial tonight. It'll be a good one. Lorien, welcome back.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, always. Always. Can always tell when you're smiling on the microphone. That's what I like. It's easy to tell. As she goes quiet now.
Well, I need to know what we're going to discuss at this point.
Well, I really want to get into ET experiences because, you know, you've talked to so many people who have had experiences over the years, from the good contact, the bad contact, to My Labs, to MK Ultra. How does somebody know when they're really going through it, Lorien?
Well, there's something you can tell, and I don't usually give away my secrets. I've got 5 little things I ask that really tell me if the person's telling the truth or not. And they have and each one of them has an emotional response. I will tell you this, folks. People who've had experiences don't have to hesitate to answer a question. It's blurting out within, it just blurts out. And I'm going to use the young woman named Daniela I that spoke for us at the conference. Is the first time she's ever spoken at a conference. As a matter of fact, I want to tell her story a little bit because I would think it would be wonderful to have her on your network at some point as a guest. She came to UFO Con last year because her girlfriend said, "You've got to go because you've got all these weird things going on in your life. Maybe you'll find some answers there." So she came to the event and she's sitting there listening to all this, and she was so flipped out about the fact that she wasn't the only person having all this insanity going on in her life. And she became friends with a bunch of the people there that were vendors and people that were attendees. And then finally, Eric Mitchell became good friends with her and started helping her in the ET. He's got a experiencer group on Facebook. And she went over there and started talking to other people. And then she got a hold of me at one point and said, "Lorien, I want to thank you so much. UFO Con changed my life. I met other people who were having the same experiences as I, And it was just phenomenal that they listened to me and they believed me and they didn't ridicule me. And I said, "You're quite welcome. I hope you come to the next one." And that was kind of it. And then at one point, I reached out to Eric and I said, "Hey, do you know any people who have had extraordinary experiences that want to talk at a UFO conference?" I said, "I know most experiencers don't because they're always afraid to talk about it. But I said, do you have anybody brave?" And he said, "Yeah, I do. I know Erin Montgomery and I know Daniela I." And I said, "I know Daniela I. She came to our conference." I looked at her picture and I knew exactly who she was. And I said, "Okay, great." So I got a hold of her and she goes, "Lorien, I am so petrified to do this that I don't think I can." But she started, talking to me about all of her experiences and she checked off all the boxes. Because, I hadn't talked to her much. I didn't know if she was telling the truth or not, but she checked off all the boxes. And one of the most important things you've got to understand about an experiencer is they will, if you're sitting there listening and you're being quiet and letting them tell their story without judgment, they're going to tell you every freaking detail down to its toenail hairs. But you've got to keep asking the right questions to get down to those answers. But that's how you know they're telling the truth, is because they have no hesitation. They don't have to think about their answer. And I'm not going to say who, what, when, where, and how, but there are many people in the UFO community that have gotten a stage, and I knew from the second they got up there and started talking about their experiences that they were trying to remember a lie. You can tell when people are trying to remember a story that isn't theirs. And there's a big difference. So that's how I know. And I know in my heart too, because other contactees know that other contactees are the real deal. They just know. It's part of the makeup. The aliens have taken all of the contactees, and I'm talking about the Greys now, and the Whites, and the Plagiarans, and, the ones we all know about, pretty much, that are interfacing with humanity on a pretty consistent level. The ones that are the Galactic Federation, and the list goes on and on. Most of those ETs have to take us at some point and alter something in our genetic makeup. Maybe it's our DNA, I'm not sure, so that we can actually commune with them on whether it's a physical seeing them basis or hearing them like I do and seeing visions from them, or whether it's that they appear in your house and take you with them. You molecularly are moved into a different type of, you're not human anymore. I guess that's all I'm trying to say, is you're not just a regular born human anymore. You've been altered in some way to make it so that you can be with them. And Whitley Strieber will be the first to say, yes, this is a reality. So will Travis Walton. All the guys that have been taken for any length of time or many times will tell you, yeah, they did something to me. I know I was different from the first time out of the gate. I know they did something to me. You talked to Niara Isley. She said when she was 3 or 4 years old, they took her on the ship and they did something to her. And she knew that what they were doing was altering her consciousness, her physicality, her whatever, her genetics, her DNA, whatever it was, on a molecular level, so that they could easily float her up into a ship, do whatever they need to do to her and put her back. And also they have control over your mind. I know people don't like to hear that, but that's the truth. They can make you forget stuff. They can make you remember stuff you didn't see. They can put stuff in your head that is so far beyond what our government thinks they can do with mind control. It's scary, scary stuff.
Do you think the days of seeing someone like a Travis Walton or a Betty Barney Hill, as we are encroaching on the 60th anniversary of that event, or a lot of, I guess what I'm trying to say, are we going to see the next real big story coming soon? Or because of social media, because of the internet, everybody having a camera these days, is that next Travis Walton case or Chris Bledsoe type case, are they far and few between and going to spread out even more?
My personal opinion about Chris and Travis and Whitley and all the people who have had major contact like that, they are very few and far between right now. But since I had an experience where we saw a UFO about 200 feet above us with a F-16 or 17 or whatever it was, one of those jets, those modern jets, chasing it at 20 feet behind it, and 68 or 70 some odd people saw this all together. We're having more and more sightings where people are seeing things together as a group, and it's not just one person at a time now, which tells me that the aliens have stepped up their whole thing about us being able to see them. I think that we're being allowed to see them on a much bigger scale. The Phoenix Lights are a great example of that. When we can have mass sightings like this and people are starting to see ships, that's one step next. The next step is how many of us can see the aliens all at once. Okay, now we got to remember, most of your sightings are by, if you have 12 people standing on the side of the road, 2 of those 12 people will see the craft right above their head, the other 10 can't. I think those days are changing. I think it's going to become where the Phoenix Light situation is more of a reality, where everybody that looked up saw it and that they allowed everybody on the ground to see it. And I think within the next 5 to 10 years, we might have a situation where 100 people maybe see an alien, at a, let's say a bar mitzvah or a wedding, and they film it and it becomes out there into the wild. And what is the government going to do at that point to stop the reality of alien contact, physical 3D reality contact happening to a large group of people? So far, they've been able to control us since the 1960s because it's been far and few between, and they usually the men in black end up at your door and put the fear of God in you, and you hardly ever talk about it again. Or you're working for. Now, here's an interesting piece to all this. Many of the contactees between the 60s and the late 90s were all children of military career people. A lot of them. I'm talking 80%. So they were bound to some type of military secrecy within the family. So we didn't get a lot of information. Now that it's happening to more and more people that aren't military, I think there's going to be a breaking point. And my gut feeling tells me 2025 is going to be a big year. I think there's going to be more than the disclosure of the fact that we've got Tic Tacs and we've got ships and we've got triangle UFOs. I think the reality of the secret space program being out there and the aliens actually communing with people here in groups may become exposed, and the truth will be known. That's my gut feeling. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, I think it. I think it answered quite a bit of the question in regards to the popular cases. My concern is, how can we trust the information now? I hear the same thing happening in the Bigfoot world right now, where a lot of information, a lot of video, a lot of experiences right now are being kind of shifted off to the side because there's been so much fakery. There's been so much of people pulling the wool over others' eyes, and that's not good for anybody. And I could see the UFO world going that way as well. So I'm just curious.
We've already been that way, Dave. I'm so upset. Okay, I'm going to try not to get mad here, because you guys know when I get mad, I can't talk. That's the first thing that happens.
You become a potty mouth. Let's just be honest.
I do, actually. I got to be very careful about that. So here's the deal. There are too many of these fake UFO sites popping up, and I'm not going to use names, where they put everything that anybody films up there and says it's a UFO, and they don't do their research and they don't find out that it's not a UFO, and everybody's out there going, after a while you're anesthetized. You start thinking nothing's a UFO. And I would say that maybe 10% of what they're putting up there actually is. And so how do we know the difference? We don't. And they're doing it on purpose for ratings and money. And it all comes down to that monetary clickbait stuff that's out there on YouTube for everybody to make a living. And I get that people are trying to make a living, but what they don't understand is they're playing right into the CIA's hands. The CIA wants us all here in the UFO community, bantering about the same thing and, rehashing the same old stories and looking at these fake videos and going, ooh and ah, they're real when they know they're not. And going through this whole, thing of just keeping our minds preoccupied with things that really don't matter in the UFO community and really aren't real. And that's the part that I get really upset about, is that we have played into it. All those websites out there that have the UFOs constantly being posted, like this guy got this and this guy got that. Now, what about that one over Las Vegas last week? Has anybody debunked it yet? Has anybody proven it to be true? I don't know.
Yeah, there's nobody there right now who has come through and said that one is a hoax just yet.
Just yet. Okay.
Just yet.
So, yeah. So, and the problem is, look at the source. He has given us many that aren't. So I'm just dubious because it's him, and I shouldn't be. I should be saying, oh my God, it's that guy. We totally trust him, and he really has been giving us real stuff all these years, and he's proven it, right? That's what I want. That's what I want, people to put stuff up there that's real. And it's not going to be often. It's going to be very seldom. It'll be probably for a month. One a week all over the United States is the real deal, And it just makes me so upset to see us going down these paths of non-reality. And I'm going to go into an area right now that really upsets me too. I am a huge orb debunker. I know people, they get mad at me about this, but it's the same thing. People are all the time put up all these pictures all over the internet. These are orbs, and these are aliens in the orbs, and this isn't, these orbs are following me, and this orb came into my house, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get, and people go, oh, there's thousands of orbs around us while we were at this special place looking at UFOs in the sky. And I'm like, wait a minute, don't you guys know that these are all like just dust or, a moisture or camera flare, lens flare, whatever it's called. And people fall for it. I mean, they actually believe it. And I'm like, where did the logic go in science around camera stuff? I mean, I took photography when I was in school. I mean, what happened to people just learning about the how a camera works and what kind of anomalies can appear on a camera? It's just crazy, and I get really upset around it, honestly. And what it does, again, is it takes away from the true orbs that are out there that are alien intelligent things coming from their ships or coming from another dimension or however they're getting here. These guys are absolutely real, just like those orbs that we saw in that 1997 film footage of the crop circle being made in England. Those were absolutely real, doing what they were doing, and they're capable of that. And in that one, people all the time say, oh, that was a hoax. Well, that was no hoax. That was a real deal. And it should be revered as the real deal. And we get all these fake ones being revered as the real deal, and it makes me nuts. That's all I got to say about that. Just going down that path of the disinformation being thrown in with the real stuff, and it's much more prolific, the disinformation or the faked footage or this or that. We're playing right into what the government wants us to do as a community, and sadly, no one's thinking about that. All they think about, and it doesn't extend to just the film footage and the orb footage and all that. It extends to all these documents that supposedly were getting revealed to us, and then we spend 3 months all dissecting these documents and whatever, and we don't even know if they're real or not. I mean, anybody can put out a fake document, you guys, and they can say, "Oh, I got this from a colonel who died, in 1997," and it tells all about a meeting with so and this guy and that guy. And the reality is, somebody made it in their backyard with Photoshop, in their in their garage, and it makes me nuts. No one really looks into this stuff, and then by the time they figured out it's fake, it's 4 months later, and everybody thinks the story's real, and you can't dissuade them from the fact that it's not a real story.
Okay, so let's flip the entire surface here, because Neil deGrasse Tyson came out again this week basically saying that all UFO stuff is fake. There is no evidence. Stop talking about this topic, people. And he even went on a football show called The Herd with Colin Cowherd, because Cowherd was blowing Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield out of the water for going on Twitter saying that he and his wife witnessed a UFO. And he didn't believe that starting quarterbacks in the NFL should talk about such perverse topics, such as UFOs, on social media. And, of course, he went and got Tyson on there, and Tyson saying, well, even though Mayfield said this light dropped into a lake, here's Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, well, there are different types of meteors out there. This is probably what you saw streaking across the sky. People who are skeptic, it's one thing. I think everybody should be skeptical. But when you're ignorant to the topic and ignorant to some of the people who are involved, that's where you look like a fool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying, and I do agree with you on that, because I didn't know about this story until you just said it, but I will say I got to applaud the guy and his wife for coming out on Twitter and saying that they saw it. But I think instead of saying it was a UFO, they should have. Well, I don't know what they said, but whatever
I'll
they
read
said.
it to you. Hold on. Let me.
Read it to me. I'm curious.
Let me grab it here.
Yeah, this is for the audience who doesn't know about it either.
All right. So this happened on, and it's funny. The first picture I pull up is Colin Cowherd talking about it. Baker Mayfield last week, almost 100% M, who's his wife Emily, and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis. Anyone else witness this? And by the way, so Colin Cowherd comes on and he's like, you wouldn't see Dan Marino or Tom Brady or Joe Montana talking about UFOs. They're too pro. You just don't do that. Tom Brady responded by saying, how do you know, Colin, that I haven't seen aliens?
What a great comeback. And good for him to say aliens instead of UFO. That was smart on his part, I got to tell you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the fact that Neil deGrasse Tyson now comes on and, Colin Cowherd, he doesn't believe in anything outside of the NFL. He hates hockey. I don't like him. He hates hockey. He hates hockey.
Oh, he hates hockey?
Yeah,
okay,
hates
well, he's
hockey.
on my list now,
yeah,
too.
He's on my dirty list right now. But, he immediately gets on Neil deGrasse Tyson to basically say that there are no such things as UFOs. He didn't see a UFO. Stop talking about UFOs because there are no UFOs.
You can't do that. See, now this is what I'm talking to you guys about the CIA's chokehold on what goes out to the media. If it had been any other time, like it could have been the 60s or 70s, he might have been able to get away with that and bring on somebody like Carl Sagan. And Carl Sagan wouldn't have said something like, oh, there's no such thing. He would have said, we don't know if there is such a thing. Which was, you look back on what Carl used to say, he never poo-pooed anything, and he always left the door wide open for that reality to be real, which I loved about him. But now we've gotten to this point of cancel culture, and what's interesting is they're going to start canceling anybody who talks about UFO stuff. I'm worried about this, Dave. It's starting to scare me. I open up people's YouTube pages and they're gone. I open up their Facebook page and it's gone.
You have to be very careful. You got to be very careful. Like I learned recently that putting a hashtag UFO in your title will not get your show promoted by YouTube.
What's going on with that? They just canceled my good friend Misha Johnston's support groups for UFO contactees, and dumped her Facebook page and took her off and wouldn't give her a reason why. I'm thinking, oh my God, who's next?
Well, we'll just play nice with YouTube because they are one of our formats, and we kind of like being on there.
Them.
Yes, we love them. Oh, YouTube, yes. How we love thee. How we love thee. Lorien, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to talk more ETs, more controversy, more stirring it up with alien contact. We'll take your questions in hour number 2 if you're in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio as well. Lorien Fenton, one of my favorite guests. She is the lead person in so many conferences, including UFO Con. We now got to wait for UFO Con 2022, which she said I'll be speaking at. God, I hope
you will be.
God, I hope I don't upset you to change your mind before that. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this. I'll be right back, my friend. I'm just going to run my dogs out, okay?
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to eat my pizza.
Okay.
Where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks, I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot.
All right, I am back. How we doing, everyone? We having a good time?
I'm having a good time.
Me too. Me too. Thank you for doing this,
You could piss
Lorien.
me off enough to not have you speak next year. So don't worry about that. When I have friends, I have them for life.
I know.
I'm a Leo. I'm so loyal to a fault. It's pathetic. I've had friends that have screwed me over and the whole 9 yards, and I still let them walk all over me.
Oh, I know.
So there's nothing you could do.
I know. I'm just teasing. I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Now, have you and Samantha gone out and found some more aliens?
We're hoping to this summer, and we want to go camping. She's adamant that if we go camping, that something's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Yeah, things are happening so much more because what we're learning. And I want to talk about this on air too. Is we're learning that inviting them in is not as painful. Oh God, I've got the hiccups from eating too fast. Damn it. I don't want to be hiccuping on air.
Well, you got 1 minute to cure the hiccups. Bah! Did that scare you?
No, but I'll hold my breath.
Okay, you hold your breath. I'm done. No more hiccups for me. Thank you to Major Lee. Sorry.
I think it worked.
Oh, good. Thank you to Major Lee and Sinister Shorts for the super chats. We really do appreciate the love and support. Thank you for all the thumbs up and the thumbs down, and those who have hit that subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. Hey, Randy Spurl, how you doing, man? Good to have you here. Hey, Virgil, how are you? Here we go. 5 seconds.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate you tuning on into us wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club, Tafeta. Tafeta is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with Lorien Fenton. We're talking all about experiencer situations tonight when it comes to extraterrestrials and so forth. Hey, anytime we get to talk aliens, it's a good night on this show. So this is what we are doing. Lorien, welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. While we're waiting for some audience questions in our chat rooms and on Twitter, I want to ask you in regards to ET contact, because there's a lot of people out there who have the experiences with the Greys, or they have the manted beings or reptilians or whatever it may be. How do we know what these species actually are that are coming to us, not just our imagination?
I guess what you're trying to ask me is, do we know that they're real, or do we know that there's different types of species that are working together, or?
Well, let's go into it all. How about that?
Okay, great. Well, as far as I've been able to figure out after interviewing probably, my guess is by now I've probably interviewed well over 500, if not more, experiencers, probably closer to 1,000 at this point. And what the common thread I'm seeing with the Greys, the reptilians, and the mantid beings is somehow they're all working in cahoots. I've been able to figure that out. And I'm not sure that all the different species of gray, because now we're talking the leathery tan ones, the ones that are bigger than 4 feet tall, the ones that are really a dark gray instead of the light gray, which is mostly what people see, and they're very small, about 3.5 feet tall. And then there's the taller grays within the structure of the 3.5 feet tall ones, like they're closer to 4.5 and 5 feet tall, and they're just a bigger version of them that seems to be like the hive leader. And they seem to come in groups of 3s, 5s, and 7s when they travel about here dealing with humans. And they have a hive mind that works together. Anyhow, so we're thinking that that particular group of grays works with some type of the reptilians as their overseers in a way. We don't really see the reptilians on the ships working with them, but we think it's a mandate from the reptilians, because every once in a while they seem to show up and kind of run the show in the middle of a larger group of people being taken at the same time. And or a different type of humanoid-looking crossbreed between humans and grays and even reptilians shows up too. So, there's what I'd like to see done, and I'm working on this with a couple people, and I don't know if we could ever get it into a book, but I'm trying to work on, there's a new book, just for reference, there's a new book coming out about all the different species. And I can't remember who it's coming out from.
Craig Campobasso.
Craig, thank you, because he asked me for information about it, and I gave him what I knew, and he's putting that out. But after his book comes out, I want to work with him on putting together what species we know work with each other, as far as we can tell, and do a whole, presentation or whatever about, or book about these relationships between the species that we know of so far. I mean, after you interview over 500 to 1,000 people, you start seeing the patterns. And that's the pattern I'm seeing mostly now, is that the reptilians are the overlords of the mantids. They're the doctor part of the situation because, ironically, most of the people that have the mantids show up in their experience are usually on a gurney in a medical situation, and curiously enough, many of the mantids in their mind's eye are wearing a doctor's coat, which I find just so hysterically funny that they're making you see that on them so that you trust them. I think it's just really bizarre that they do it, but they do, and it's very frequent, and it's not just 1 or 2 people I've heard this from. I've heard this from probably 250 people at least, that their mantid being was working on them wearing a doctor's lab coat or whatever they're called. And I was like, that is so bizarre, but why would they do it? And they seem to do it all along. It's very standard operating procedure for the mantid to put in your head that they're wearing a doctor's coat, and they are doing doctor-type situation to you. Or they're overseeing 3 to 5 grays around your medical table, and they're sitting in the background with their doctor's coat on, and you could tell they're running the operation. Okay, so they seem to be involved on that level as well. So we've got the reptilians at the high level running the show, the program or the protocol or whatever we want to call it, whether it be a hybrid program or something else I'm not sure of. And then the mantid beings are carrying out the medical procedures in cahoots with the grays, and the grays are actually doing the abductions themselves on, like boots on the ground abductions. So they get them into the ship, or they get them into a holographic universe where they're working on you, or whatever they're doing. The Greys seem to be the ones causing that. Now, having said that, I've heard from other people that there's another whole group of beings out there, and this one woman keeps popping up, and she was in the movie, and I can't remember it right now, it'll come to me, a few years back, about an artist out of New York City that was having this contact with these little gray beings, and then this woman would come to him and have sex with him. And then apparently they were making space babies. That's what I call my friends who've had children in space with the aliens. I call them space babies. And a lot of my friends have many children that are space babies because, you know, you guys, people laugh at me when I say that, but the reality is, think about it. We can clone, you know, a few things here and there now on Earth, and it all works. Imagine being, you know, 50 million years into the future technology-wise, they should be able to take one of my eggs and in perpetuity for them be able to make millions and millions of Lorien little clones, you know, because they've got one egg. That's all they need. They're capable of it. They have the technology to do that, whereas we're limited here. We can only split so many cells. We need many eggs to do, you know, 10 or 15 clones. I think that they're taking, like Geraldine Orozco, our buddy Geraldine.
Yes.
She's got 1 million eggs being taken, and probably there's 1 million little Geraldines running around with a little bald head, which is kind of scary.
No, I think if Geraldine does have any hybrids, they have her beautiful hair. I have a question coming from our Spreaker chat room for you, and this is from C. McG, and she is asking, Lorien, are you ever open to a kind of a pre-interview from someone who is not ready to talk publicly but has a couple of questions?
Oh, yeah. I used to, okay. Back in 2013 to 2016, I was on the phone every night for 3 hours. I dedicated myself, and I told everybody within the inner circles of the Super Soldier program, the UFO program, or whatever it was, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm there for you. And I literally sat on the phone from about 8 p.m. at night till 11 p.m. Pacific with anybody who would call me, and I would just sit and listen. And I wouldn't even take notes. I wouldn't take their names. I wouldn't take anything. I would just try to put it in my database of my brain because I promised them I would never share this information, right? So I didn't record them. I didn't do anything. I just listened. And to this day, I thank all those people who called me, and they were, you know, my confidentiality meant something to them, and I'm still keeping it to this day. But it did help me realize all the things I'm talking to everybody about here tonight on your show on Spaced Out Radio, because I'm able to confidently say, I know that this is going on, and these are the people, you know, these are the people I gathered that information from. And yes, I'd be happy to talk to her. What I would like to do first, though, is have her email me through my website. That is lorienfenton.com. And we'll set up a time, and I'll be happy to listen to your story. And if you ever want to go anywhere with it, I can advise you on what to do with it. And it may be unique. It may be so unique that I might be asking her or whoever this is to get their story out to the public, because the public needs to hear it. You know, there's certain stories out there that really need to be heard, and hopefully I can facilitate helping people get their stories out there if it's extraordinary. And see, you know, this is another big problem, Dave. In the last 10 years, you know, the regular abduction story, the Greys took me, you know, I had my eggs taken, I had a baby in space, and blah, blah, blah. It's so blasé now that no one really cares about hearing about it. And that's sad, because every one of these people is traumatized at some level in some way, and they need the help. And you know, that's where I really think, you know, a good ufology therapist is a great way to go. You know, we've got Aaron Montgomery, we've got Misha Johnston, we've got Yvonne Smith, we've got Barbara Lamb. We've got a ton of people out there to help you. And so if you need that advice from me, I'd be happy to give you some really good people to go to talk to about your situation. And I hope and pray, this is one of the things I pray for every day for all of the contactees, is that you're able to not live in fear of the alien contact, but embrace it and take control of it. You've got to, I tell this to everybody who's a contactee, you've got to take control of the situation. My ETs, they've never done any, I laid the law down a long time ago. I said no reptilians in the bedroom, no reptilians anywhere, actually, and no grays anywhere, and nothing that will scare me. I said, I can't take it. My brain cannot take it. And if you are going to show up that way, don't let me remember it at all. And I'm never going to do hypnotherapy. I don't want to know. I don't want to know that there's a reptilian looking me dead in the eye, 6 inches away from my face, drooling down his little big teeth that could eat me. I don't want to see that. I don't want that to be part of my existence. So I'm not going to allow it. And I've never had a problem with these guys. I've taken control, and I said, I'm in charge. If you guys have work for me to do, like you keep telling me every time you take me away and do stuff to me, you always push me back and say, you've got work to do. Well, if that's the case, you better be nice to me, and you better be looking good, because I can't take the evil and I can't take the ugly. And so I've never had a problem with them. And I keep telling people, look, draw the line. Tell them you're happy to work with them if that's what they need. You're happy to give them space babies if that's what they want from you. But they have to let you see the children. They have to be nice to you. They have to explain what's going on, just like a good doctor would. They have to tell you why it's happening, and you need to know what's going on with your body, because it's your body, not theirs. And that's why so many women have PTSD from this whole thing, is because of that. Now, let me get back to my friend who was having sex with this one alien woman. There seems to be another whole species involved, this hybrid species of women that are having sex with the males to create this, what I call 2/3 human, 1/4 hybrid. And they're starting to look more and more like humans, to the point where I think within the next 10 or 15 years, these ETs, aliens, grays, who's ever the space baby program, making program, is going to get our hybrids to the point where they look like Dave Scott and Lorien Fenton. And how would we know we're not 1/8 alien? We won't. Because we're going to look so human, it doesn't matter anymore. And maybe they've been doing this all along, and maybe we're just at the tail end of another 1,000 years of putting people like us on the planet that are 1/100th alien, you know? Who knows? Maybe they're trying to alter the human race completely. I don't know. But it seems very interesting to me that there's this one alien hybrid woman that seems to be having sex with many men here on the, I mean, I've already talked to 12 guys that have had sex with this same type of alien woman. And she looks the same. She's always the same. Now, maybe it's what they think, they want you to think she looks like, but why are they all drawing the same thing? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like the mantids. Maybe seeing that doctor's code is something they put in your brain, and maybe all these guys are drawing the same woman because that's the mind control they put on them. I don't know. But they are having sex with female hybrid aliens.
All right, let's get to a couple more questions. And we'll get to Nikki's here. Lorien, have you ever been told why the ETs are actually making hybrid babies?
No, that's the problem. That's the frustrating part. I can't ask that question of my ETs, because my ETs don't do that. I already know my ETs have specifically told me that they're a different cat altogether. They're more angelic, Orby type light energy beings, and they're more the what is it, the Voyager series by Oceana Dean. They're more of that type of higher echelon. They call themselves a higher echelon, but they're more of a higher vibrational ET. So they're not, my guys aren't doing space babies. So I don't know. I've never been able to, I've never asked them, and I don't think they'd know the answer or give it to me if I did. I think that is very important that the women who are having it actually happening to them, they will be the ones that can get that answer, and they need to start asking it, and they need to do it as a group. If I could get 50 of my friends who have space babies, the next time they go on a ship and they're all going, hey, hold it a minute. Lorien Fenton told me to ask you this. Why am I making space babies? I want to know the answer. And if 50 aliens get asked that question, then maybe we'll start getting some answers from them. I don't know. We just got to get the women who are having it done to them to ask the question and see what kind of answers they're all going to come up with. I think they're going to obfuscate, myself personally, and not tell the truth.
All right, let's get to another question. Sinister is asking, Stephen Hawking predicated that the end of the Earth would come by alien invasion. What do you think the probability of that happening?
Well, I had a vision when I was a lot younger, and I saw the skies full of UFOs, and I went on for a couple of years at one point. I was having this reoccurring dream of these alien ships coming, and this was long before, Close Encounters of the Third Kind or anything like that. And it was just so bizarre. And I have talked to many contactees who have gotten the same, thing told to them, not in dreams or anything, but they've been told that if we're not careful, there's going to be some problems here with otherworldly entities trying to take over this planet. And I know there's some aliens out there protecting us from this. I don't know how long they're going to do it. I don't know if they want to do it any longer. We're starting to act like a bunch of spoiled brats here on this planet, so I'm not sure they want to help us if we're going to keep killing each other, But yeah, I think Stephen Hawking may be right. If it isn't them doing it to us, it's going to be us doing it to us.
All right, let's go over to Human Carl, because we got like 3.5 minutes to go before we go to break at the bottom of the hour. Lorien Fenton is our guest. Human Carl is asking, Lorien, you mentioned the secret space program. Can you elaborate on that? Do you know anything about the 20 and Back program in the SSP?
Well, the secret space program is absolutely real. Whether it is to the extent of all the people out there that said they were involved in it and they had 20 and Back experiences and all the crazy stuff they talked about, fighting skeletal horrible beings and, emissaries from different planets and, all these stories that go along with it. I believe that we do have one. I think it's much more military-like in that we are protecting our planet from these invading species that could be coming here. And I think we've had it for a very long time. I have found documents and I have talked to scientists about the fact that in the late 30s, that there were several guys in, Russia, Germany, and the United States that literally had figured out a anti-gravity propulsion system. And I don't know if they got it, if they back engineered it off of anything, or if they just thought of it and it came to them and they developed it. I don't know. But I do believe we actually have a program going out there. Now, the 20 and Back part of this and all the stories that go with the secret space program, again, I think it's part of the super soldier mind control program, because in order to be in the secret space program, you have to agree before you get into it that you will cooperate by having your brain basically wiped out of those memories when you come back here to Earth. I don't know I really doubt that yet if they have the capability to do a 20 and Back where you're at the same age you were when you left. I don't know. They might because of the aliens. And I think if they do, it's more like a stasis kind of thing where they might be cloning you and then your body's in stasis. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I think it's much more fantastical, the stories we're getting out of these people who claim to be in the secret space program. And I think if we ever do really get a person who was or is in the secret space program to come forth and tell us what they know, that it will be much more mundane, but very scary and very real.
Why is that? Why do you think it'll be scary and real?
It'll be scary because they've been out there protecting us from all these invasions and these other species and things that are going on. And the world population has been not informed about anything that's happening. You know, there's a great book. You have to read it. It's called Sands of Time by Sean David Morton. It's all about time travel, which, by the way, has an immense amount to do with the secret space program and how we deal with the aliens right now. And I believe time travel is real. I believe we figured it out. And I believe the aliens gave us the technology to do so.
Well, on that note, we're going to get you to just sit back, relax for a little bit. And we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Lorien Fenton is our guest tonight. ET Contact, all things on the record tonight. Why not? Sometimes it's fun to talk woo, aliens, mix it all together in a nice souffle of aliens, UFOs, and woo. We continue with Lorien Fenton right after this on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm trying to get Solaris's attention, but I haven't been able to get her to raise her. She keeps going to bed early and getting up early when I'm going to bed and getting up. You know, we're missing each other. So I'm just trying to tell her what happened.
Remember, our YouTube audience can hear.
Yeah. So, anyhow. Pizza.
Sounds like you're sharpening a pencil.
Well, I'm actually cutting through Little Caesar's pizza.
Yeah, just remember, every piece of Little Caesar's pizza, you're supporting the Detroit Red Wings.
I am?
Yes.
Why?
Little Caesar's Pizza is owned by the Illich family, who owns the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, this is my last Little Caesar's pizza then.
Hey.
I can't do that. They're my rivals. They're my Western Conference rivals.
I know. I know.
Oh.
Just kind of kills the appetite, doesn't it?
Yep, it certainly does.
My God, I got the most comfortable office chair in the world, and I cannot get comfortable tonight. Cannot get comfortable. What's happening with Sean David Morton anyways? Is he out of prison? Did he wind his way out of prison?
Yeah, he's out. He's got an ankle bracelet on, and he's in an apartment in L.A. I'm actually doing a fundraiser for him on the 20th.
Really?
Yeah, we're trying to get enough money to get him cancer treatment, besides the one that he's getting from the government.
Hi, Bell Prepper. Welcome back to the show. See, that's what happens when you shave off the beard. You get attacked by all of these diseases.
So the beard is a disease repellent?
I think so. He went to prison for, I believe, was it fraud? Tax evasion?
No, he went for what was the actual technical term? For cashing a check from the government for his IRS return. No, I'm sorry. For putting in a false IRS return. That's what they said it was. Even though they gave him the money off of it. They paid him. And then 7 years later, they said, oops, we want our money back. That was pretty crazy.
All right, we got just under 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll chew fast.
No worries.
No, I can't chew fast. I'll get
You get the hiccups again.
I already got an email from one of your listeners.
Nice. I'm having to block advertisement on my Facebook because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm seeing soccer and tennis everywhere. What the hell? Yeah. Soccer and tennis everywhere. What the hell am I going to do with that? Seriously. Especially soccer. The antichrist of all sports.
Yeah, exactly. Huh.
All right, we got just over a minute.
This gentleman says that everything you speak about I can vibe with and relate to. That's so sweet.
Oh, that's nice. Whoever's listening, thank you for sending that. All right, we have about 35, 40 seconds. All right, thank you to Lee, Major Lee, and Sinister for the super chats for tonight. It's a great way to support what we do on a nightly basis here on the show. Also, great way to support us is hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways, I don't care. Just as long as you hit that subscribe button. And you can buy your go to facebook.com/the SOR Vault, where you can get all your Spaced Out Radio swag, including these toques right here. Or beanies, whatever you want to call them. Here we go. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for tuning us in. My name is Dave Scott, sitting behind the microphone talking all the woo with you guys tonight. No place I'd rather be, so thank you for joining us on this wild train that we call the woo train around here. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Lorien Fenton from the Fenton Files on Revolution Radio. If you want to tune her on in, I'd appreciate that. Lorien is, I think she's an expert. She won't say that she is, but I'm going to call BS. I'm calling her an expert when it comes to all things ET contact. Yeah, take that, Lorien. Take that.
I'll be an expert tonight. I have no problem with that. And I've already got somebody in the listening audience tonight has emailed me their ET contact experiences. And I just want to thank him for doing that. And he was so sweet. He said, everything you speak about, I can vibe with and relate to. And that makes me feel really good, you guys. So tell me your stories and tell me what's going on while Dave puts his pomade on his beard over there.
It's Mighty Moose beard oil right there.
Mighty Moose beard oil, of
exactly.
course. You've got to get that on there.
Got to make sure it's all shiny.
I just want to thank that person for emailing me. And I'm going to put an open invitation out to everybody listening tonight. If you have experiences and you want to tell the world about it, you're more than welcome to come on my radio show and do it for the first time with me. I'm very gentle. I promise I won't hurt you. And Dave would say this, I think I'm pretty good at steering you in a direction that will help you actually achieve being able to talk about it easily and also help the audience understand what you're going through too at the same time. And I'd be happy to have anybody on air. And you can use a false name so no one knows who you are. And I have found out this is very intriguing to me. Over the years, I have brought people on my radio show, and they were all gung-ho about telling their story. And once they did it once, they were complete. A lot of people told us, hey, I'm complete now. I got my story out on radio. I feel really good. And it closed a big hole for me. I was able to tell it to a non-judgmental group of people. They all heard it. I know they did because I was on your show. And I can play it back when I want to. I can play it for my family if I need to. And I just feel good about having that conversation with you live on air. And you know what? They never really have to be on another show. They don't have to get up in front of an audience. They don't feel compelled to do anything like that anymore. And it's helped them. Most of them have gone on to have such amazing lives. Many have become, a lot of them wanted to be artists. And I had these weird conversations with them after the radio show where I'd say, well, if you want to play music, just play music, Now that you've got the world out there knows you're a contactee, start writing songs about being an alien contactee and put them up on YouTube, And they're doing things like that. And it's been really good for everybody. So if you want to do that, get a hold of me. Let me know if you want to be on the radio show, or if you just want to, just talk to me. I'd be happy to talk to you. It's going to have to be a short talk, though, because my life right now is turned into, oh, my God, Dave knows. I'm starting, and is it okay if I talk about the TV network?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm starting a television network. I had a really bad experience in Los Angeles working with a production company. In 2016, I developed a show called Transcending Realities, and there were 14 episodes recorded in Los Angeles. I was down there 4 times to record 14 episodes, and long story short, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to because the directors and the other executive producers decided how they wanted me to do the show. And I agreed. It was my first foray into television, so I just agreed to do whatever they wanted. Stupid me. The show didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I was never happy with it. And then things just kind of went south from there. So bottom line was, I thought I was done with television, Dave. I thought that was it. Nobody's going to have a fat girl on doing anything because they've all told me that a million times. I get calls once a week from a production company and all over the world. Actually, I've gotten phone calls from London and Germany and what have you. Oh, can you get us somebody to be on our UFO show? And I'd always say to them, why not me? And then there'd be dead silence. And they go, well, we're looking for somebody younger and thinner. And I'm like,
my goodness.
Good for you. Have fun. You go find them yourself, and I hang up on them, So, it's pretty funny how this all plays out. They don't really care if the person has knowledge. They don't care if the person has ever been abducted. They don't care if the person has had a relationship with ET or even seen a UFO. They just want somebody good looking to put on the UFO show. I just crack up. I think it's funny.
I am so out.
You're so out? No, I think you're going to be perfect. I think the beard is going to make all the difference. I think you're going to be set with that beard. So anyhow, bottom line is I gave up in 2017. I said, that's it. I'm never doing television. It looks like the aliens were wrong about that because they came to me once and said, you're going to be on radio and TV. And I said, no, I'm not. I'll never do that. And sure enough, I was on radio, and then the TV thing happened, and I thought, well, we've been there, done that, it's over, it didn't work, okay, good, bye-bye. So I'm sitting here during COVID, and actually, you know what, Dave, I'm going to tell them about what happened in December before UFO Con last year. In December of 2019, I was sitting at my desk, and I'd fallen asleep, and I was kind of half awake in my chair here. And I heard them say to me, you're not going to be producing conferences the same in the future. You're going to have to find some other thing to do. You're going to have to produce television. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing anything like that. And I went back to sleep. And sure enough, I start waking up again. And they're saying, no, you have to do television. And it's going to be internet television. And you're going to be doing it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing anything like this. and you're never going to do conferences the same again. You're going to have to do them on the internet. And they were telling me all this stuff, and I was like, no. So sure enough, Dave, didn't I tell you guys all at the conference? I said, this is the last one I'm doing in a hotel because the aliens had told me, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I told everybody at the conference, I said, this is the last one like this. And that's what my aliens said, and I'm not doing it like this ever again. I'm not doing the hotel thing. And you know what? The hotel thing's not viable. And it's not viable, I don't think, for at least 5 more years. Seriously. Unless you've got big bucks, the hotel thing is just never going to be the same. So sure enough, I'm sitting here. It's now May of 2020. We've been locked down for 3 or 4 months. And I'm sitting here thinking, what the heck am I going to do? I hate the Zoom stuff. I'm not going to do that. I eventually did, but I just said I don't want to do this. And I went to bed that night thinking, how in the heck do my aliens think I'm going to be on TV? This is so dumb. I don't know why they think this. They're just so dumb, those aliens.
Dumb aliens. Bad aliens.
And I thought, this is just ridiculous. Why am I even thinking about this, right? So I wake up and I look in my email and I see this email from this company and it says, big sale on internet TV. And I think, who are these people? I don't know who this is. How did they get my email? How in the heck did this end up in my email? I open it up and they're practically giving away for one day an internet TV network. And I was thinking, this is all a hoax, right? So I call them and I say, are you really giving, at this price, are you really giving away like a TV network? I mean, what does it include? And I went through the whole thing with them and they said, yeah, our boss just got this wild idea last night. We needed some more clients. We thought we'll just do a one-day flash sale and see if anything happens. And I said, do you know how I got on your email list? And he looked and he goes, you know what? That part of the form is not filled in on your subscription to our email list. He goes, I have no idea how I said, I've never heard of you guys before. I don't know how I got on your list. He goes, well, you never filled in the part that told us how you found out about us. And I said, well, I never found out about you. I don't even know who you are. And so we were both kind of dumbfounded that I ended up on this email list. And they were even more dumbfounded because the guy said to me, he goes, we don't know what got into our boss. He's acting really weird. And he said, just 24 hours. That's all we're doing. And I just want to see how it works. And apparently I was one of the only few people that answered this email. And I signed up to have my own TV network with these guys. And they haven't done a flash sale like that again until Christmas when they did one other, and it wasn't even near the discount that I got, okay? So I'm like, how did this even happen for me? So the aliens are at work, you guys. If you are in touch with them, if you work with them, if you do what I do and harass them by saying I'm not going to do anything you tell me to do, they're going to put it in your face, and you're not going to have a choice. It's just mind-boggling. So I'm starting my own TV network, and part of it is because of my experience in 2016, that by 2017 I figured I'd never do it again, but I have a very good idea on how to do it because I was trained to do that. I was in communications in college many years ago, so I do know how to produce a show, so that's wonderful. And also, I got to the point where I realized that, Gaia TV really is my only competition out there if I do start a network in that vein where it's really for the UFO community. And I thought, I can do such a better job because I know the real experiencers, right? And not that Gaia TV's bad, because they have a lot of good programming. I do adore George Norrie's show up on Gaia TV. And I just thought, well, cool, let's let Gaia TV have a little competition. So I'm starting Make Contact TV, and it'll be makecontacttv.com. There's just a placeholder website up there right now. And I'm working with a couple of editors, and what we're going to do first is we're going to launch all of my old conferences starting with 2013 all the way up to 2021, and you'll be able to see those. That are not going to all come at once. It's just like Netflix. You're going to get a release of one show and, one conference at a time, and then eventually you will get special interviews I've done, and you're going to get some special programming that we're developing for the network. I'm building my own little TV studio so I can do interviews with people, and it's going to be quite fun. And I will tell you this, I am starting a show called Orb Hunters, and we're starting production here in May, and we've already got 3 or 4 people's homes lined up for us to go out and prove or disprove that these people are having orbs in their home. So I'll put this out to your audience right now. Is there anybody out there who's having orb activity that would like us to investigate? If you do, and I mean all kinds of orb activity. I mean the kind you can see with the naked eye, the kind that are on infrared cameras. I've got to have film footage of them to be able to get you on the show, because we've got to have something to work with to start with. And that's pretty much the criteria. And we're going to try to get out to these homes this summer and do our show called Orb Hunters. And what people don't understand, Dave, and I think I've mentioned to you this before, is that I am friends with one of the top scientists around orbs in the world. He is the guy that Robert Bigelow brought in to explain orbs to his group. So this guy is like one of the top guys in the field, probably in the world, on these kind of orbs. And what he has done is he's figured out that 90 to 95% of them are explainable. What you perceive as orbs in your cameras, folks, are explainable. But there is that, 10 to 5%, 5 to 10% that are not explainable, and those are the true orbs. And they aren't as common as people think. But they do exist, and we would really love to show the real thing on our show. That's what we're looking for, is to show the real thing and not put up a picture that says, I was up at this ranch and I was looking for UFOs and there were 6,000 orbs around me, and look at them all and they're all moisture beads, right? I mean, we're not doing that. So that's it. So you Make Contact TV is going to be out soon, and I just hope you guys love it. We're going to keep it very affordable. It's, it is a subscription fee to be there, because we've got to pay for us to get around the country and, hunt for these orbs and make sure that they're real.
A lot of people will say that the orbs have nothing to do with UFOs, nothing to do with spirits. It's all dust. It's all particles. You're not looking for the little things on camera. You're looking for the big things that are floating around that shouldn't be there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we've already had 2 or 3 people send us footage of things we can't explain. That's going to be an interesting hunt, as we call it, because we're going to go there with cameras and instruments, and we're going to do the real deal here. So it's going to be very interesting. And the cool part about it is everybody on the crew is a contactee, so who knows what might happen if we all show up and ask the orbs to show up for us.
I didn't think you were an orb hunter.
I am now.
Well, look at that. Lorien's going to get digging in deep. She's going to put her hiking boots on. She's going to go all Steve Irwin looking for these orbs. Crikey, look at that orb.
I never thought about it like that. I thought it more like they're going to carry me in like Cleopatra, and I'll be propped up in my director's chair, and I'll just sit there and tell everybody what to do.
Right. But it's just very interesting to see how it's expanding. I got to ask you, with the fact that there are so many platforms to have this type of programming, we see it all over places like YouTube and BitChute, and we see it all over podcasts and everywhere, from iHeartRadio to Apple to Stitcher to SoundCloud, to all of these online digital networks that, like Revolution Radio and KPNL, which we are on here. Are we getting oversaturated in the market?
Oh my God. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And it's not the oversaturation itself. It's the saturation of people who don't know what the heck they're talking about. I'm sorry, Dave. I hate to say it. I know I sound really nasty, but I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just saying, there's a couple of guys, I know you know them, the UFO Garage guys, and I love them dearly. You know why? Because they came up to me at a conference and said, we don't know anything. And we'd love to do some podcasting about it, but we don't know anybody and we don't know anything. And I said, because you came to me and said that, I am now going to introduce you to everybody I know. And they're doing great. They've got their UFO podcast. I think they're friends of yours and you've been on the podcast. And they're just
Good
great
guys.
But yeah, the problem we've got in this community and in the radio and the podcasting and the whatever is that all these people get a show and they don't have a clue of what they're talking about. I mean, I got forced to listen to a young guy in the community's podcast because he's very famous. And somebody said to me, oh, don't you listen to so-and-so? And I go, okay, no, I don't. They go, well, you've got to. He knows so much. And I thought, okay, I better listen to this guy because if he knows so much, how come I don't know him? You know? And I'm listening, and he said something so stupid about Triangle Crafts, about how their propulsion system works. This guy has no clue. He never read Paul Hill's book, Uncommon Flying Objects, a scientific analysis, which is what anybody should be reading in this field if they want to talk about what a UFO does and conceivably how it functions. And if they don't do that, then, you know, I'm sorry. I have no time for them anymore in my life. I'm not going to waste my time and energy listening to somebody who can't even read a book on how a UFO could, quote unquote, propel itself. You know, I'm sorry. I can't. And I just go nuts when I hear this stuff. And, you know, it's like I tell you every time I'm on your radio show, and I hope the audience doesn't hate me for repeating this, but if you don't know your history, we're doomed to repeat it. And the same thing is in ufology. If you don't know the history about ufology, every 15 or 20 years, I've got to sit through people rehashing the same old stories from the past over and over again, thinking that they're doing it for the first time. And what they don't understand is people like myself, Melinda Leslie, Misha, Grant Cameron, all of us have been in this field since the early 70s. And that doesn't include the upper echelon of the older guys in the military that have been doing this since the 50s that are still alive. And these people just laugh at all these kids because they go, oh, well, they're back at square one again. They went around the Monopoly board and they're back at start and they don't even know it. You know, it's all been discussed. It's all been done. Listen to your old Art Bell shows. Listen to the old Neville shows. Listen to all that stuff. It's all been done. You're not doing anything new. So if you can accept the fact that you're not going to bring anything new to the table, then at least bring something interesting to the table. That's what I always say. That's why I think Dave's show is so great, because he's not afraid to bring people in that have got something interesting to talk about. And it may not be the old story or the old way people are thinking, but at least he's willing to do it. And I try to do it as well. So I think that's important right now. So wisely pick who you're listening to, because not everybody out there has really got your interest at heart about ufology, and it really is a community of ufologists, and you've got to just pick through and figure out who's resonating the truth, and that should be the answer for you. Who's resonating the truth?
Well, there are people who believe that the truth is, in the Bigfoot world, that they are people too and should have voting rights.
Well,
so how do we tell what the truth is?
Well, okay, now I'm going to say this about Bigfoot. If Bigfoot could be willing to sit in a classroom and learn how to read so they could understand who they're voting for, that's probably more than half of the people in the United States that are voting can do right now. So I wouldn't doubt that Bigfoot, we could just give him a driver's license and he can vote. I mean, what do...
Let's move on here, because we got about just under 2 minutes, and J.L. Taylor is asking, how do we make contact? Just meditate on it? 2 minutes.
Yes, it's that simple. There's CE5 contact. You can get a hold of Greer's group and follow his protocol. You can follow... There's guys out there that call the UFO ships in and they say they have their own protocols. You can follow them too. Meditating itself in the true sense of the word meditation, I don't think that really works. What I think works is a combination of prayer and meditation. And I say that when I say prayer, I don't mean like sitting there praying the Our Father. What I mean is that you're sitting there and you're saying a truth mantra to the aliens about yourself and calling them to your aid and calling them to be your friends. It's kind of a combination of many things. You've got to be really focused. And honestly, folks, if you're not telling the truth to the aliens, they will never come to you. You have to be so honest with them. You have to bare your soul with them. The time I realized that I was actually in touch with them and they would never leave me is when I told them that I would die for them. That's how close I got to them. And in my mind's eye, they are an extension of God. And I basically turned my life over to God and said, if the aliens are your interface, and this is who I'm dealing with, and you've got me here for a reason to do this work, whatever this work may be, because I could never figure it out. It never came with a job description, I can tell you that, folks. But if you're willing to dedicate yourself to making this the truth reality of the UFO community, or in any way you can, and it can be so simple as to just bake cookies for Dave Scott's, team at the radio show.
Oh, that works.
I mean, if that's all, yeah, or Bigfoot, or leaving them out in the woods for them apples, or whatever it is.
Lorien, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. We have Lorien Fenton coming in hour 3. We got the Magic 8 Ball night. So get your questions ready if you're in our chat rooms. And the thought of the day of the news next on Spaced Out Radio. You're going to have to stick around and watch play Magic 8 Ball with us.
Sure. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's... I'll show you about it. I
I know what the Magic 8 Ball is. I don't know how you do it, though.
Oh, you'll have to see. I'll be right back. I'm going to run my dogs out.
Natural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get bumblefucked?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the story you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
All right, here we go. We've got 2 minutes, Lorien. 2 minutes.
Okay. How are the dogs?
Pardon me?
How are the dogs?
They're good.
Are they just outside? Or are they in the house? Or are they just looking at you through the door and begging you to deal with them all the time?
No. If I don't let them out, they will literally make a mess in the house.
Oh.
They're just getting older, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it's time,
I know.
When it's time to go, it's time to go. And they've kind of learned my break schedule. So.
Oh, darn. See, that's bad. They learned your break schedule. Shit.
I don't mind. I don't mind. They're good guys.
That's sweet. I just told the gentleman that emailed me that he can come on radio show anytime he wants.
Nice. All right, we got 1 minute.
Okay.
Not understanding all these numbers in the chat room here.
What are they saying?
I don't know. They're just posting a bunch of numbers. I don't get it.
Is it a coded message?
Could be. All right, 30 seconds. Thank you to Major Lee and Sinister for the super chats tonight on Spaced Out Radio. It's a great way to support what we do on a nightly basis. And thank you to everyone who's given us a super thumbs up and a super thumbs down and a super subscribe. We really do appreciate everyone supporting what we do here on Spaced Out Radio. Here we go in about 5 seconds. Stay tuned.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Welcome back to our listening from everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free for you by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club to Feta. Tafeta is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce Lorien Fenton. She is one of the top conference promoters in the field of ufology and other major subjects, and we absolutely love it when she comes on here. Lorien, welcome back.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You are very welcome, and you're always welcome here because we love you around here. We do. I'm not going to lie about that.
Well, that's what we can't do in this community is we can't lie about anything because every other experiencer knows the truth.
Isn't that
It's a
the
big
truth?
problem.
Earlier on, you had mentioned a little bit about the secret space program, and you're pretty convinced that we have that and we have these jump rooms going on. What is your conviction on that?
Not sure about the jump rooms either. I do know we have some type of... Now, I'm not sure... it's very confusing because I have analyzed so many of the super soldier stories and really analyzed them down to, I asked them questions down to what color was the floor below you? Was it concrete or metal? Were you sitting in a chair padded or was it all stainless steel? What kind of, goggles did they put on you? Was there a bright light? Was there no light? I mean, once I started getting an idea of what they thought this jump room was, I started asking them specific questions about what was happening to them in the jump room. I don't know if anybody's ever gone as deep as I have with them about this. And what I'm starting to realize is that just like the movie that Denzel Washington did, the Manchurian Candidate version, the second or third version with Denzel, it seems to be much more medically simple as to how they're inducing these guys into either being mind controlled into doing this or just doing it because they're serving their country and then they're getting their mind wiped afterwards, like consenting and then getting the mind wiped, or they're being brainwashed into or mind controlled into doing it without realizing they're doing it. Okay, there's only two scenarios that I've been able to come up with that all these guys agree with. When you get down to the bottom line is they say, yeah, I think I agreed to it all, and I'm pretty sure I'm having moments of bleed through it. I'll tell you why I think this part of it is I can't say who, what, when, where, and how, but I have a guy I know of. I don't know him personally. He's a friend of another contactee. But his story is this. He wakes up after going into the military. He wakes up, I think it's a year and a half after going to boot camp. He wakes up one day and he's actually standing over the kitchen sink doing the dishes at his parents' house. And the last thing he remembers is going into the special meeting to be talked about becoming part of a special program of the military. It's the last thing he remembers. He wakes up a year and a half later in his parents' kitchen, doing the dishes, and he sets the dishes down. He walks into the living room and says to his mother, "How long have I been here?" And she goes, "Oh, we picked you up about a month and a half ago. Got off the airplane, came home. You were discharged, you got a Medal of Honor or did something or what have you, and you're home now." She goes, "What's the problem?" He goes, "I don't remember getting here." And she said the same thing I just told you guys. "Well, what do you remember?" He goes, "I don't remember anything after walking into a room." And he goes, "What day is it?" And then he finds out it's a year and a half later or longer. I can't remember the exact time. But this is the type of thing they do to people, folks. I mean, it's very clinical. They probably took him in the room and said, you're going to become part of this special group if you'd like to. You won't remember anything when it's over. You'll have served your country. You'll have done amazing things. We have the ability to wipe it out of your mind, and you will never remember it, and blah, blah, blah. And so he agreed to it, obviously, and went for it, and then he wakes up a year and a half later, and there you go. And he's not the only one I've heard this from. If it was him alone, I would have thought, well, that's an anomaly, we'll set that aside. But you go down the list, and 15 years later, folks, I've heard this story from so many people. I mean, it's like crazy town how many people you hear this from that have been in the military, have worked in the secret space program or the underground bases or for the super soldier programs. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean they're all in space. They could be all over the world doing all kinds of things. We don't know. I do know of several people that I heard from their widows, that they came home and told these fantastic stories to them. And this was many years ago. One of them was married to this guy in the 80s. And he came home and said, I've done horrible things in South America. He goes, I wasn't supposed to remember. They promised me I wouldn't remember. And I remember. And she goes, well, what did you do to the, how bad was it? Was it like the My Lai massacre? Because this was, only 10 or 15 years after it, right? He goes, no, it was much worse than that. It had to do with things not of this earth. Things not of this earth. And I always remembered her saying that to me because she just looked me dead in the eye and said, he said things not of this earth. And I'm like, what? So, and then he can't live with himself because the mind control didn't take effect. I mean, it didn't work on him. So he had to live with it. He committed suicide, and he was the first one I heard about committing suicide, but within 5 years of interviewing a lot of these people and their exes or their widows, I come to find out that a lot of them have committed suicide because of the horrors of it all,
No kidding.
So, yeah.
Where are they parking these people or these craft that are allegedly part of this secret space program?
Well, now if you'd asked me that question 15 years ago, I would have said maybe there's underground bases, but now I'm pretty convinced there are. As a matter of fact, I know there are because I've had information from people that there are bases, and I actually know where 3 of them are. I have the coordinates, and I know where they're at. And I of course, I'm not going to go into them. I will tell you this. One of my, this is so funny. I'm at a MUFON meeting in Sacramento about, 8 years ago. And this guy comes up to me and he goes, you're Lorien Fenton, right? I go, yep, I am. He goes, well, I've heard a lot about you. And I go, is it good or bad? He goes, it's both. And I said, that's normal. And he goes, no, I heard about you from Ruben. And I said, oh, great, because Ruben's our Northern California director.
Is that Ruben? Is that Ruben Uriarte?
Yes, it is. Ruben
Okay.
Uriarte. And he goes, yeah, Ruben told me if I ever met you to tell you this story. And I go, okay. So we went over, we're in a restaurant. We're at I don't remember if it was an Applebee's or some place like where we used to have the MUFON meetings. And after the meeting, we went and sat down at the counter. We're eating pie together. And he tells me this story about how him and a buddy are both helicopter pilots, from Vietnam helicopter pilots, and they rented a helicopter, and they had found this place out in the middle of California that I can't tell you guys where it is, that had this big fence around it with the barbed wire and the whole bit, and there were guys in these Jeeps and vans and trucks that every time they got close to it, they'd come out and say, you're trespassing on government property, and big signs like Area 51 that say, do not come in here, deadly force can be used, blah, blah, blah. And they were trying, and they said something about atomic this and atomic that. And he goes, we just didn't buy it. We wanted to see if it was an underground base. Well, those guys decided to, stake out the place at night. For a month, they went up on a hillside way far away from it so they couldn't be seen. They used infrared, they used night vision, they did everything, and they finally caught the ground opening up and these UFOs going down into the ground into this cordoned off area. So what they decided to do, which I thought took a lot of guts and a lot of something else, these guys decided to rent a helicopter and landed on top of that to see if it would let them in. And I said, you guys are out of your, I said, you must have been out of your mind. What happened? He goes, well, we took the helicopter, and before we could even get into the premises of the fence, they had the trucks all around us, and we were 100 feet off the ground, and then we landed. We had to land outside the fence, and they told us if we ever came back or near there again, we'd all be shot and whatever. So they basically saw them on radar coming in and thwarted them off. So it was pretty interesting, I gotta say. And so that's just one of the stories I've been told that people have done to get into these bases. And I know they're real because these guys are, I mean, this guy, he's not pulling my leg. He's telling the truth. So, yeah. So, oh, God, that took a lot of guts to fly that helicopter. They could have been just shot at and killed. I mean, I don't know why they even did it, but, you know, they were brave. They're ex-veterans, you know. Veterans are pretty good at doing crazy things.
All right, I got a few questions from our audience here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right. Sovereign is wondering if you'll ever have John Rhodes speak at UFOCon again.
John Rhodes has never spoken at my conference. John is an interesting guy. I'm not sure that all of John's stories are absolutely the truth because I can't get him to sit still long enough for me to talk to him. He evaded me for a while. I've never had him on my radio show. I tried several times. He wouldn't do it. I don't know why he wouldn't, but, you know, he's an interesting guy. He's the first kind of reptilian guy that was out of the gate back in the early 2000s. If I remember correctly. I hope we're talking about the same guy.
Yeah, I'll get back to that because he was wondering if he was shut down or something like that.
I don't know what happened to him. I've lost complete contact with him. I lost it back 10 years ago. Do we know if he's alive still?
I have no idea. No idea. First time hearing the name tonight. I'm still relatively new to this, so the obscure names I'm still a little bit off on. Let's get over to another question from Sovereign. What agency controls how many times alien researchers can speak? No conspiracy theory there.
Oh, no, I'm laughing because I don't think they could control anybody in the UFO community from speaking. I happen to be one of the, how do I put this? I pretty much know every conference producer, and they all are not taking orders from anybody. The only thing that motivates most of the conference producers, not all of them, but most of them, is how many tickets they're going to sell. And the CIA is not going to have anything to do with that. You know, they're not going to sit there and say, well, I'm sorry, you can't have so-and-so speak, or you have to have so-and-so speak, and if so-and-so isn't going to sell any tickets, they're just going to look at these guys and laugh. I mean, so the CIA is much craftier than that, you guys, or the Department of Defense, or you know, who's ever running the, you know, the Majestic 12 guys, which I think is actually Majestic 200 now, after listening to all of the guys from Two Stars Academy and their stories. I really believe there's many more than 12 people running the whole UFO scenario. But when it comes down to who speaks, I think that they take certain people, they prop them up in the community, they use lies and different types of the only way I can say is wild stories that they may even believe themselves, to get them on a stage to keep people away from the real truth. They're never going to have me up there speaking because I will tell the truth. And that's a big problem. So they're not going to elevate me to all the other conference producers as somebody they want up there to sell tickets. Because I'm not going to sell tickets. Because the only people who are going to buy tickets to hear me speak are the people that know the truth. And they're a much smaller group than the people who are willing to buy a ticket to hear lies. And I'm sorry I said it that way, but that's the honest to God truth.
Well, that's what we bring you on for. That's what we bring you on for.
And I'm not saying that they're bad people for doing it either, Dave, because I truly love my other conference producer compadres out there. I don't think they understand what's really going on, you know, because most of them aren't contactees. So how would they know? Alejandro, bless his heart, he's not a contactee. So how would he know, you know? So he's just trying to do something that, you know, he thinks is helping the community. And there you go. So anyhow, and I gotta bless all of them for trying, because they're actually taking a big, like, if they were putting on a conference for real estate agents, they know they're going to make their money back, right? You put on a conference for UFO people, you might as well just kiss your money goodbye, because you could make or break. Every year's different. You don't know if you're going to make any money or not, So God bless them for even trying, even though they may not have what I consider the real guys up on the stage. Okay?
All right. I guess we can accept that as a good answer. Nikki is asking, Lorien, do you know where the underwater bases are?
I have been told about 2 of them. I can't say for sure they're real. I know that one is over near Hawaii, and the other one is off the coast of California.
Is that Catalina Island?
And all I've been done is being told about them, and I was told by what I consider fairly credible sources. I don't consider these. One of them was military, one was not. I think they're pretty honest people, but I can't verify it because I've never been to one, so I don't know yet.
I have heard from somebody very close to the Nimitz situation that everybody in the field of ufology should be watching around Catalina Island. And you have to understand, there's a lot of people who will not go in the water there because of the amount of great white sharks and other sharks there. And that is truth. That's not just my fear coming through. But Catalina Island in that area is just a continued hotbed. And that is where a lot of people need to keep their eyes open. That's what I've been told.
I guess I can say this since you said it. The area they told me was right in that area as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. We've only got about 4.5 minutes here to go before we're going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Lorien Fenton is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Is there ever going to be a day, Lorien, when this entire subject is not cloak and dagger?
I hope so. I pray for that every day, you guys. That's one of my, I go to bed every night and I pray, and I wake up every day and I pray. And that is truly on the top of my hit parade of prayers. I just want it to be exposed for what it is, instead of all this conjecture and non-reality and fear-based porn, that they put out there about everybody. Oh, they're going to eat us, or we have national security issues around it, or this or that. Look, here's the truth. The truth is they've been there all along. The military knows they've been there all along. They've been filming these guys since at least the 20s, maybe earlier with cameras, when cameras first came out. They've known about UFOs. They've known about aliens since forever. I mean, they've been following the aliens since Egypt. I mean, there's written documentation passed down through the generations, and in the Bible and everything else, the Torah, you name it, it's been documented. The Vimanas in the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, it's been here for thousands of years. Every civilization has dealt with them. Every leaders of every civilization knows they're real, and they don't deny it. But all of their military and every way that they can control the narrative has been played out, and much more so lately because of the fact that we have social media, television, and severe mind control going on in the world right now. And I just think that I wish they'd stop doing it. I wish they'd just let us be and let us make our own decisions about this. That's what I pray for, a total disclosure, not just their disclosure, not what they feel we can unhandle, not what they want to tell us. I want the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Is that even possible anymore?
I don't know. I don't know. And I'm being real honest with everybody. I just pray for it to happen. And I think, part of me, Dave, part of me says it's going to happen. I think I'm going to live to see it. I don't know what form it's going to take, but I think I'm going to live to see it.
I don't see it. There's too much going on. Now, Lou Elizondo and others believe it's coming, but they're banking on it. They're banking on it. And that,
well, and they're looking at it from the military perspective, too. It's a whole different view than I have as a contactee and you have as a contactee. Our truth is completely different than their truth. Their truth is there's tic-tacs in the sky, and we don't even talk about the fact that they're intelligently controlled. I mean, they haven't even gotten to the intelligently controlled part yet, let alone there could be a gray alien in it.
Very true. Very true. See, I just want to see something really cool happen. And maybe that's more on a personal level than on an international type level. But I just want to see something cool happen. And
yeah, me too.
You know, like even talking with our other guests about it, I don't think that society is ready. I really do not believe for a second society is ready. And I may be in the minority of that, but I've seen people react. I know what my personal reaction has been when I've had encounters and I wasn't ready. And people who are so out of the loop on this, I don't believe they are.
Yeah. Well, it may be as simple as, 2/3 of the population may not see them, and they may be parked over every city, and half of us see it, or a third of us see it. And we may be a bit separated in that aspect.
Very true. Very true. Lorien, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because I know you want to play a little Magic 8-Ball with us.
I do.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to start warming up the 8-Ball. Oh, right now. We're going to start warming it up. We're going to start warming it up. So you guys have to warm up your questions as well if you're in our chat rooms or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. The Magic 8-Ball, remember, last week was about 95% correct on its answers. 95%. Including telling Brian that his New York Mets will never beat the Yankees in a World Series. Spaced Out Radio with Lorien Fenton, myself, and all of you continues right after this. Stay tuned. All right, we're clear. Hi, a girl with no name. How are you doing? Good to have you back. We're warming it up. Put your questions in capital letters if you do not mind. Makes it easier for me to read. I'm having fun tonight, Lorien. Thank you.
Me too. You've lifted my spirits. I want to thank you for this.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank God for you. The wind beneath my wings.
You're a sweetheart. Oh, and our gentleman says he's not ready to share his story, but that's okay. I'm gonna give him some advice here, and then we'll get him on my radio show at some point.
Mm-hmm. Good. Get him on. Troy. No, Troy. I don't even have to ask the Magic 8-Ball for that one. We're warming it up. Hopefully Magic 8-Ball is ready for tonight. It's got a big shift tonight. Mm-hmm. Remember, if you want to ask a question of the Magic 8-Ball, it needs to be a yes or no question. Yes or no question. Can't get into explanations. Magic 8-Ball don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get some sleep now this week, now that the conference is done?
I slept all day yesterday. I only got up for 4 hours, went back to bed again.
Good.
I was in such pain. The problem I was having was my knees were killing me. Mm-hmm. And the chair at the office would not get to the right height, so I wouldn't have to bend them with it, and keeping myself in the picture and keeping my banner in the picture. I had 3 things going on. So I spent the whole weekend with my knees bent underneath me, and it hurt like hell. So that was fun. I'm glad it's over.
I don't blame you. Don't know why you do it, but you put on one of the best.
Well, we do have fun, but I can't wait till 2022. I don't know where we're going to do it, though, because I don't want to do it back at the hotel. So I've got to find the retreat center or something interesting. Maybe a big theater. I'm thinking a theater next time.
Theater would be great.
Yeah. I think that's where we're going to do it.
Hello, the Philip Blair. The Philip Blair. Good to see you. All right. Jeff DeRuin, nice to have you here. Well, we got some good questions coming up for the Magic 8 Ball.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do I have to come up with a question?
No. You just sit back, relax, and you can answer them with me. You can be the reaction.
I could be your Ed McMahon.
You're my Ed
Johnny.
McMahon. Oob to Joe's Maine, you've got aliens. Joe has an interesting story. He lives kind of in the wilderness in Northern California. Well, that's where you are, but I think he's about 3 hours from San Fran.
Okay.
And Joe didn't like me right at first when he started listening. He's got fantastic hair and a high-quality beard, by the way. He sent me a picture of his beard today. Keeps me updated. And Joe didn't like me right off the bat. And so I convinced him, because, at times Lori and I can be a little intuitive. And I convinced him to take a picture on his property. Told him where to point the camera and just hit photograph. It was middle of the night. And on that photograph, there's like 3 sets of red eyes staring back at him.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he's like, what the hell is this? I said, I just told you to take the picture, man. And so Joe and I became good friends. And he actually, I think I've told you about putting the quarters on your countertop.
Oh, yeah.
So he tried that one night. He thought he had some aliens. Wasn't sure. Tried it. Woke up. Scratches all over his legs like a cat attacked him. And the quarters were moved.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's definitely an ooh.
Yeah.
You don't like it when there's scratches.
And Joe's a big dude. He's like 6'5", 6'4", like hunky man. Very handsome man. Great hair.
Great hair, handsome.
Great
lives
hair.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What's his gig? Is he married?
Oh, he's single. He's single. He's single and he knows it.
He's single and he knows it. God, does he want goats?
Hold on. we got like 5 seconds. We'll bring him to your conference just so he can.
Okay.
All right, hold on. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Dave Scott's my name. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Want to remind you that if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Now, when we don't join Vancouver for the shift, which we were doing there almost every week, but they made a format change, so we're only on there like once a month now with Shane. He's got a great beard, though. So we started the old Magic 8 Ball. We're going to get you got to be in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter, and we're going to ask the Magic 8 Ball certain questions. Now, I haven't put a theme song up for this, because this side of the project, when you put something into a new show, you always got to test it out. You just can't give it a theme song. So we're just testing it out. This is the third time we're doing this. Magic 8 Ball. And we're going to get to your questions right off the bat. And we're going to start off with Amy down in Vegas. Hello, lovely Amy. And she is asking, Magic 8 Ball. Oh, by the way, Lorien Fenton is still with us. Magic 8 Ball. Will I get the job I interviewed today for? Lorien, how you feeling on that?
Well, not going to say anything right now. Let's see what the Magic 8 Ball says.
All right, here we go. Magic 8 Ball, what do you think? Well, out of fuel, try again later. Out of fuel, try again later. Amy,
my gut feeling on that one was these people aren't quite ready for you, Amy. That's just my gut feeling. You may hear from them later than you think.
Yes.
Like a couple months down the road. I something weird is going on with your interview today that they didn't tell you.
All right, Troy is asking, Dear Magic 8 Ball, as we put the energy into it, will Dave ever have breakfast for dinner in 2021? My answer is no. Lorien, your answer?
Yes.
Oh, you sicko. You sicko. The Magic 8 Ball says, it's decidedly so. Son of a gun.
You are going to have breakfast because you know what? We're going to pay you to do it and put it live on air. Or you're going to do it for a charity event and raise money.
Oh.
See?
Oh, yes. That would be a good idea. I would do it for charity. I would totally do it for charity. Totally. All right. Susan is asking, will I be able to walk again if I work really hard on it? Magic 8 Ball, let's give Susan some positivity here because we want her to have good legs. Magic legs. Here we go. And Magic 8 Ball says, oh, good news, Susan. The signs point to yes. The signs point to yes. That's a nice one, Lorien.
Yes, that is. That's very positive and upbeat. And that, you know what that tells me, though? That tells me Susan's got to do some work.
Yes. Susan.
He's going to be the reason it all happens.
Absolutely. Susan, you are in control of your own destiny, and we believe that you can do it. Kira is asking, she's lovely. She's in Portland. She's a contactee, too. She just doesn't want us to talk about it publicly. And
ooh, okay, we better hush up.
Yeah, we won't say anything about Kira's contact. Because it's not like she has contact with aliens or anything like that. Anyways, Kira is saying, is there a UFO fleet orbiting the Earth right now? I say yes. Lorien, your opinion?
Yes.
All right. Magic 8 Ball says... Oh, it flipped on me. What do I do? All systems go.
Yes!
All systems go. We got aliens up there, people. We got aliens.
All systems go. You bet.
Exactly. All right. Let's get to Jeffrey's question here. How you liking this so far? Isn't it fun?
I love it. I think it's fun.
It's totally fun. It's totally fun. Jeffrey is asking, will my cryptocurrency investments make me rich? I'm not saying rich. My gut feeling says you're gonna have some extra money. That's what my gut feeling says. Lorien?
Yeah, same thing. That's what I got immediately. Was not super wealthy, but you'll do okay.
Yes. A. Bauman, by the way, sent you an email message. Puts it in the chat. Says, I hope you get it. Jeffrey, you're back to you. Magic 8 Ball. What do you say for Jeffrey? Is he going to get rich? Not today, Sheriff. Not today. Well, I think we're both right on that one. You'll make some, but Troy is asking, will Lorien be visited by folks in black suits in 2021?
No. No.
Oh, by the way, Amy O says, the casino cocktail job? Really, Magic 8 Ball?
No, they're not. They're being funky with you.
It's not you.
It'll work out.
No. There's something
Not
better.
you.
There's something better coming for you.
Exactly.
Something better.
I agree.
You have more value, Amy O. You have more value. Even though the tips will be good, you have more value. All right. Suits, Men in Black. Are they coming to Lorien's house? Yes, and beyond. Lorien, you're going to have handsome black-suited men coming to your house.
Well, okay, as long as they're coming with a big box of money and paying for my UFO commune, I'd be happy to have them.
Thank you, Anya, for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right, next question comes from Cherie Ariano. Are my aliens as helpful as I've been told so they are? Oh, let's concentrate on this one. My answer is no. You're more angelic, Cherie. You're more angelic. Not as alien as you are angelic. What do you get, Lorien?
I agree with you totally on that.
All right, let's see what the Magic 8 Ball says. Come on, give us an answer. Doesn't want to answer. There it is. In hypersleep. In hypersleep. So I'm calling that what Lorien and I said on that one. I am. All right. Kira has another question. And she is asking, will Dave have a Sasquatch experience in 2021? Everything in my mind is pointing to yes. I've actually been having little premonitions about that. Little premonitions. Magic 8 Ball, do you agree with this? Ask again later. Really? Well, that's because I can't.
Okay.
Well, I can't get into the forest right now. I'm trying to remain positive. There's still a lot of snow out on the ground, so I can't really, get out there. Let's see here. As we see about some more questions from our audience here. All right. Andrew in the United Kingdom is asking, does Dave wear pants on his head when he's alone at home? No. No, I do not.
I can answer that one for you guys. No.
All right.
If anything, he puts pants on his doggies' heads when no one's
Oh, come on. Magic 8 Ball says, by the way, reply hazy, try again later. Even the Magic 8 Ball thinks that's a ridiculous question. Ridiculous. And I know you're laughing this morning, Andrew. Have a good, nice cup of tea for us, if you don't mind. All hail the Commonwealth. All hail the Commonwealth. Wagon, will CERN tear the space-time continuum before 2030, Magic 8 Ball? My answer is no. What's yours, Lorien?
I'm going to say no.
All right.
Just because I have no idea if they're even functioning right now.
All right. The answer is sensors read no. Sensors read no.
Well, that's interesting.
So even the Magic 8 Ball agrees with us. All right. Let's see what else we got here. JL is asking, well, I don't do politics, but this one's close. Will Joe Biden be the president when they allow to bring disclosure forward? I'm going to say no. And the only reason why I'm saying no is I think we're a long ways away from any sort of true disclosure. And I would say we're a president or two away. All right, Magic. And you agree with that, Lorien?
Well, there's one piece to this that I know about that I haven't talked about is that I think I said in the last show, Kamala Harris has been read in.
Yes. Yes. All right, Magic 8 Ball says, don't count on it. Don't count on it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how I feel, don't you?
I agree with that. I agree with that. All right. A girl who has no name is asking, are the forest people connected to extraterrestrials? I'm saying indirectly no, but everything supernatural is tied together, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a yes and no type question. What do you think, Lorien?
I agree with you totally because they're all connected. I've been shown that whole process of how they are connected, and it's more on an etheric God-like connecting all energy and mass together. So I don't know if we're going to get a yes or no answer to this.
Well, the Magic 8 Ball is disagreeing with both you and I.
Oh, really? What's it saying?
Levels are positive.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Maybe there is no wrong answer to that one. We don't know. Joe wants to know if he's going to get a goat.
Joe? Is this a Joe in the middle of the woods,
This
Joe?
is Joe in the middle of the woods because you brought up
Well, if I show up, there'll be goats with me, Joe.
Do you have goats?
That's what I'm trying to build a UFO commune so I can have my goats again. That's all. I want my UFO goat soap to get back on the market.
Well, the Magic 8 Ball says it is decidedly so. Joe, you need a goat.
Uh-oh. Joe, guess what? My goats may be living at your house.
All right. Let's go over to Jim's question. Are the aliens pleased with me? Are the aliens pleased with me?
What? Okay, you're not going to believe what just went through my head. I'm not going to say it out loud because it's a little pornographic, but I want to know why he would think they would be.
Well, let's see what the Magic 8 Ball has to say. I'm going to say, they're still unsure of a lot of us, Jim, myself included. What does Magic 8 Ball say? Let's get to it. Come on. Ask again later, Jim. Ask again later. All right.
Okay.
Let's scroll down. Yeah, let's scroll down. And continuing on. Jessica wants to know if she will retire this year. Up to you, Jessica, but I'm feeling pretty positive about that. I am feeling positive about that. How about you, Lorien? Is Jessica going to retire?
I think she could if she plans it out right. It'll work out for her.
Perfect. All right. That's a Magic 8 Ball. What do you say? You have my pity. Apparently, the Magic 8 Ball thinks you're not retiring this year.
Oh, sadly.
Bad Magic 8 Ball.
Bad Magic 8 Ball. We'll have to see if that one comes true or not.
We will. All right. Rooted in gorgeous sacredness reads, am I being tracked by aliens? I'm already saying yes.
If you have to ask, you are.
You got that right. That's nothing intuitive about that. You got aliens. You got aliens there, Miss Sacredness. Magic 8 Ball says, come on, let's get on an angle here. Out of fuel, try again later.
Out of fuel? What does that mean?
I don't know. We might have used all of its energy up. We may have used it. We'll try for a better answer here. We'll give you a double shot here. Shake it up real good.
That's a lame 8-ball answer.
Yeah, come on, Magic 8 Ball. Okay, here it goes. It's focused now. It says, Intel looks good.
Intel looks good. God, that's kind of a scary military answer.
Mm-hmm. All right. New York Anthony. By the way, Anthony, I do have your hoodie and your shirt. I will be sending it to you this week. All right. He is asking, will Dave get to fly a UFO this year? I don't know. Know.
That's a up in the air question.
Yes. I say no. I'm taking these.
I say maybe.
And Magic 8 Ball says sensors read no.
Oh, that's sad, Dave. You deserve to fly one.
I do.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll put you in for a ride on Matthews.
Who's Matthew?
Matthew's my buddy who's making the UFO.
Oh, okay. That works for me.
I get ride number 8 because that's my magic number.
Oh, very nice. All right. You know what? We got a few more questions here. Do you want to continue the Magic 8 Ball, or should we go to the news?
Oh, I will. Whatever you want to do, it's your show.
Are you having fun with it?
I'm having a blast.
All right, let's continue on. What the heck? Big Fat Creep wants to know, do aliens know who I am? Oh, Mr. Creep.
Again, if you have to ask that question,
you got aliens.
Address.
Yes. Not today, Sheriff. Not today. No. Big Fat Creep, you don't have aliens.
Oh, that's probably good for him if he wants it that way.
Maybe getting aliens soon, though. Well,
if you want them, they'll come.
Let's see. The Star Wars agent, a.k.a. Miller. Guy has the last name of Miller, and he drinks Coors Light. Makes no sense to me. When I go back to 1984 Friday, will I be able to get back, or will I be stuck in the 80s again? Being serious, Dave. Let's find out for you. Miller, if you're able to time travel, God bless you, man. Tell me about the experience. Tell me about
Why go to 84? Go to 72. That's when I'm going.
Why 72?
Because it's a better year. We have rock and roll. We got everything. It's pre-AIDS. I mean, come on, pre-Reagan, economy collapse. It's perfect. It's a perfect year.
I wasn't born.
Oh, well, you can't go back there then.
Exactly. I would go back to what was a good year for me? 1994, 95.
Yeah.
Some good
Those
times.
are good years, too. I got to say, I loved them.
Miller, my sources says no, you may get stuck in the 80s. If you
Ugh.
time travel back, you may get stuck there. You may not want to do that trip.
Yeah,
Hate to be the
disco
heartbreaker.
Era, yeah, the disco era is not a good place to get stuck
No.
in.
Dirt Road is asking, should I go for my master gardener degree? Will it be prosperous? My gut feeling so far is yes. Magic 8 Ball, what do you say? Censors read no. Oh, come on.
What?
Come
No.
on. Come on.
I say yes.
Lorien and I are going to trump the 8 Ball on this one. You know, it's not going to be accurate every time. It's not going to be accurate every time. Let's see here. A girl who has no name is asking, are octopus or octopi extraterrestrials?
Oh, now that's a darn good question because I always wonder about that.
All right. By the way, Susan agrees with you on 1972. And
yes, great year.
Octopi, don't count on it. Don't count on them being aliens. Let's see here. Oh, any other questions? Hey, Bill, thank you so much for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. Lee is asking, will Lorien ever be featured in a video game? Ooh.
You never know. That's an up in the air answer from me.
All right. And the answer is, not today, Sheriff. Not today.
Not today.
Nope.
Well, that's fine.
Not today.
I didn't expect that.
Wagon Breath is asking, will I have another child? Oh, my. Dave is a good name for a boy or a girl. Just saying. I'm saying no. I'm saying there's hesitancy there, by the way.
Who is this a man or a woman asking?
I don't know. I can't see the picture.
If it's a woman, my guess is be careful what you ask for.
All right. Let's go here. Ask again later. In other words, you're not ready. You're not ready. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that. Lorien, I got time for one question for you for the Magic 8 Ball.
Okay, my question is, will Make Contact TV become a hit? Oh, God. Do I want the answer? Yes, I do.
Intel looks good.
Oh, great. That's good to know.
Yes. Intel looks good.
Yeah, we'll take that.
And my question is, I am going to be batching it Home Alone for a week in 2 weeks.
A week?
And I will tell you, I get scared when that happens because I get aliens. So the question is, when I am home alone, am I going to be visited by...
Yes.
Magic 8 Ball says levels are positive. I knew that answer. I knew it.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm sorry, Dave, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I almost take it like one of the, Philip Kraft?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I almost take it like one of those experiences.
Sure.
I really do, where all of a sudden I'm just going to disappear for a weekend. And it's going to be like, where's Dave? Where's Dave? Where's Dave? Well, Dave's not here, man. He's got aliens. He's got aliens.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the way we're going to play it. Thank you to everybody for participating in the Magic 8 Ball. And you know what? We're going to do it all again here next week if we're not in Vancouver. Lorien, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate it, and I love it when you're on the show.
I had such a great time. Thank you so much.
You can introduce Magic 8 Ball on your show now,
Oh, well, I would never steal a prop. You know me.
I would totally allow it.
Oh, well, you know what? I'd say it's Dave's Magic 8 Ball, and I would be happy to carry the torch.
You can do that with me. All right? Next time I'm on your show, we'll do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell everybody where they can find you on Revolution Radio.
I am on Revolution Radio from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific on Monday afternoons, so check us out there. And most of you at Revolution Radio know it's the Fenton Perspective. So check me out. 5 p.m. You can also find me at LorienFenton.com. Contact me through there, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
All right, Lorien, you sit tight because we got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone taking part in our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, LGAB, Spreaker, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night.